This is the quantum compass here to give you the astrological coordinates for the upcoming Mayan wavespell of the yellow magnetic sun running from the 18th to the 30th of January. In those incredibly pivotal 13 days, we will have a lot of action from the sun with a new moon and three Cazimis. And to round things out, Mars and Pluto join forces in a conjunction once again.
Hi, my name is Bella, and in this show, if you're new, we talk about astrology, 13 sign astrology, 13 moons, 1320, the 13-day wave spells, and we also are going to be talking about planets.
Right. So here at quantumplanet.world or QPW, both here on the YouTube platform and of course over on our main community website, we have been called back to the world of the plants. The plants decided that 2026 is the year of the plants, and so the plants are back. Here is our trusted Time Lord and Master Geneticist friend, the often called humble dandelion, but really is one of the most powerful, healing, and wise beings you could ever hope to meet anywhere, I think, in the universe, but also very much connected to the sun. So, Bella, I believe you also have something to share with this focus on the sun, which is coming hot on the heels of this edition, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken.
Yes. I've been asked by the Sun to put together a solar special edition because of this wave spell of the sun. There is a lot of information coming through on archaeoastronomy, on ancient cultures, and on all of the information that the sun has been sharing with us.
Right, all of which is very, I think, on point, given that we put out that special little video just a few days or a week ago about the energy of the planetary alignments and working with mugwort for alignment. And certainly, off the back of a couple of plant conversations over the last few days, it's very clear that certainly plants like mugwort and many of the major trees are asking us to step not only into alignment with ourselves but actually alignment with nature, because that is the new Earth timeline. If you're not aligned with nature, then I think it could be challenging for you. And perhaps humans as a species need to reflect on their interconnectedness with nature, because we are all truly part of nature. So 2026 looks like being the return to the Garden of Eden, which I'm super excited about. And I think you are too, right, Bella?
Right. Yes, we're excited. We'll give you some more information about what is coming for us, what is coming for our tribe, and how we're opening the doors to new people that haven't done plant immersions or any of this amazing journey that many of the people that have been with us for quite a while have done.
Right, so before we jump into the presentation, as we've been doing in recent editions, we'll just take a couple of minutes just as we're recording this on day 12 of the Blue Magnetic Handway spell, which is generally when we do our cooperation recordings, like today, to take a few moments just to reflect on the energy of this incredibly powerful inside out turning experience that has been the blue hand of healing. So of course, the blue hand doesn't only represent healing. Bella made an important point in the last edition that it can be about artistry, which I really like. That's definitely coming back in many ways, even just working with plants. Did a wonderful video that's also out just now on the YouTube channel looking at the birch moon in the Celtic tree calendar system. And that tree is actually used to make many different products, not just incredible medicines like the silver birch sap, but also carved items from the wood. I've seen incredible handbags and stuff from the bark of the tree. So very much 2026 seems to want to remind us about how we can co-create with nature. And I think that's been part of the blue hand, but for sure there's been a lot of healing. We've just rounded it out with the last of those Chiron squares with Mercury yesterday. And so do you have anything to share on this?
So the wave spell of the healing or of the blue hand is day 13 is tomorrow with the storm. What does that mean? That there is going to be a big charge, a catalyzing charge to move things forward in the planet. And that's why we've been preparing for such a long time with the plans and with all of the work we've done, because this is the moment that we get to see a lot more in 3D. Politically, geopolitically, we're going to see this. And more people are going to be experiencing all of the final things that have to come out and be on the surface to be dealt with. So this is why nature and the plants are saying, don't worry, we're here and we're going to hold your hand in this process. But I do see that from now, and as we go through the wave spell of the sun, we are going to need the light of the sun and nature for sure.
Right, so for any of you who've been following this channel and our work and our tribe for a while, you know that a lot of what we do is try to look into the crystal ball using various multidimensional techniques to feel into the energetic frequencies and blueprints that are coming towards us. Hopefully, we get to read them before they hit us so that we can navigate through synchronicity, flow, purification, and all of the other wonderful healing gifts that the Mayan calendar brings to us every day so that we can stay on point and stay centered and grounded. Now, a lot of what we've been sharing over the last few weeks has really come off the back of a super powerful couple of calls we did with our mentor and 26th dimensional ascended master Zachariah, channeled by our friend Janet, who was essentially warning us that this is about to happen. And I think, given the events of the last 24 hours, 48 hours, and this wave spell concluding, as Bella just said, with a cosmic storm, suggests we're at the moment where the planets have come back in very strongly to say, we're here to not only help heal and clean you, but to bridge you into the new earth, which is very nature focused. And I'm very much in the light right now. Whoa, that's quite strong. Thank you, Bella. And so that is why we're going to start this edition actually looking at the plants. I'm going to just briefly touch on 3 plants that are really good to work with the consciousness of the sun. But I actually did a full hour, slightly longer than an hour-long presentation over on the Quantum Plant Alchemy group on QPW, where it's currently free to watch, on quantum plant intelligence, the future of healthcare, question mark. So a really deep look into how to work with plants at the quantum level and how perhaps we can start to perceive that in the world to come, we are going to be our own inner physicians, guided by not just the plants, but by nature itself, which is also something else we'd like to share. So should we jump into it, Bella, and get flowing?
Here we go. So it's the yellow magnetic sun wave spell, which goes from January 18th up to January 30th.
Right. So we're doing things a little bit differently at this moment because the plants have been speaking to us so strongly, and generally our tribe is and our community is made up of plant-loving people. But over the last couple of years, we really were guided that we had to take a slight sidestep to help repair time and to create a new container and structure for everything.
And to anchor the higher timeline is a part of the mission that many people have been helping to do. Even Matthias de Stefan and many other people have been working on this process of anchoring the highest timeline and repairing the different timeline shifts that have happened during a long period of time.
Right. And so we started out initially working with plants, and then we moved into more of the time repairs kind of work. But really and truly, the plants were always the bridge into understanding what that was really all about. The plants are truly multidimensional, and they are here to show or to help us even bridge into being multidimensional cosmic humans. And with the energy of the last month or so, with all of the energy around the 19th of December, the 3 days of stillness, the return of the light, and many other things to do with Three Eye Atlas and the other objects in the sky, it seems that we're now at this point where the plants are saying, hey, now is the time to heal and bridge into the new earth reality. And what that really means is deep, deep purging and cleansing of the system, of the things that no longer serve you, belief systems, behavioral patterns, attitudes, trigger points. In New Earth, those things, there are no place for them. And it doesn't matter how much we think there should be, but really, if we do think that, we should be questioning ourselves. And here are the plants to help us get to that place. So I'm just going to start off. These are all well known to anyone who's watched Quantum Compass before, but I'm bringing them into a space so that we can get the idea just a little bit. And if you want to learn more about their quantum properties, I do a bit more of a deep dive in the presentation that you can watch over on the site. But these 3 plants are all very connected to the sun and solar energy. Dandelion is kind of literally powered by the sun. Its flower face turns to watch the sun and move with it as it moves across the sky. And also embodies its energies, but it is also an excellent detoxer, particularly of the liver and particularly of heavy metals. Heavy metal toxicity in our bodies, generally in Western society, I would say is fairly endemic, and it requires fairly regular cleansing practice to keep it out. It's in the air, it's in the water, it's in the foods, pretty much everywhere, along with other substances like graphene oxide, which horsetail is really, really good at removing. Horsetail, as we've talked about before, is also excellent at strengthening the system, really, I feel, through the amount of silica it has so that we don't get affected by what we have come to term as bioweapons or pathogens. It's really, really good at removing those too. But most of all, and I think, Bella, you're a little bit more in the know about this than I am, but this plant is one that I think you've even tested for the amount of silica, right?
A horsetail I did,
Yeah.
yes, is one of the plants with the highest levels of silica, together with bamboo. That's another plant I tried as well, tested. But what this says is that it helps our body. When a plant needs silica, and you give silica to a plant or to a whole plantation, they become stronger. It's like having an armor. They get thicker leaves, they get super healthy. And it's the same with us. That's what silica is now to do with us as we are in the middle of our metamorphosis, becoming more crystalline beings, more light beings.
Beautiful, right? And it might be quite a strange thing to comprehend. How do I move from a carbon-based life form to becoming a silica-based life form? But I would suggest it probably doesn't happen overnight. So it's more of a gradual process that we get used to. But I do feel like we're really in this process right now. And certainly we take horsetail pretty much all the time, right?
Yeah.
And dandelion, and recently been taking a lot of St. John's wort. And the reason for that is really something that Zach pointed out to us and reminded us of, which we sort of knew, but really brought it home to us, which is about the light inflammation. When too much light comes into the field, you can actually start to feel ungrounded and a little bit jangled. The plant to help with that is St. John's wort. It is an excellent modulator of the amount of light coming into our field, very on point with the crown chakra, which is kind of the portal for that into our field, into our internal space. This is all quantum plant intelligence. Of course, St. John's wort is best known as nature's antidepressant. And so it's really good at lifting the spirits, literally, and enlightening or illuminating the self. So we have these wonderful plants here, St. John's wort, able to lift the spirits, modulate light, horsetail, able to remove toxicity and strengthen us to receive more light and help us with that. And then dandelion, very much attuned to the sun, but also the moon with the seed head, but really is here to help us detoxify, remind us that everything is always divinely timed and perfect in that timing, and also to remind us to keep cleansing those heavy metals as well. So lots of detoxing, lots of cleansing, lots of grounding and centering. But most of all, these plants, I think, Bella, will help you attune or attenuate to the consciousness of the sun in this wave spell.
Absolutely.
Right. So these plants and more are all featured in our latest offering, or one of our latest offerings, called Nature's Gift. This is a first aid kit for this moment, for the societal and personal collapse of the structures that have supported the inverted grid network, sometimes called the matrix, both within us and within the world around us. Remembering as above, so below is also as within, so without, as without, so within. It's always a mirror, so we can understand that if there is a matrix system that has been propping up the world, then somehow it possibly may have been propping up us too, all of which is now being cleansed out of the system using plants like we've just mentioned there, and a whole range more. This 2.5 hour guided transmission channeled by myself and Bella really brings many of the plants in through a magical journey tale, but also is highly educational with lots of information about the plants. And overall, you're guided to start building your own first aid kit with teas and essences and tinctures, all of which generally I would suggest is an essential component for personal healthcare. Anyway, so that's now available for just $88, or if you sign up to the Sacred Book of Nature, which is our 13-volume journey deep into nature, 13 green steps back to your true self, which is another way of saying really your cosmic human multidimensional self. If you sign up with the early bird offer that we currently have running on QPW at the moment, then you get Nature's Gift included. And we've also decided to include 2 1-hour mentoring sessions over those 13 volumes, which of course is a year long, with myself and Bella to help guide you through the process of learning how to read the Book of Nature, which is really another way of saying how to communicate with nature, with the plants, the trees, the flowers, the fairies even, and of course the elementals, because these are the beings that construct the natural reality that we live in. And of course, really, if left in its own true form, that is the Garden of Eden. And I think that that is really what many of us have seen as the foundation of New Earth. So really beautiful journey that we're putting together, lots of characters, lots of interesting educational hints and tips. And of course, every 28 days, we will be doing a 5-day intensive guiding people through a process to heal, to cleanse, and to upgrade and elevate into a new state of consciousness. So, as many of you watching this channel will know, we've been working with plants pretty much since the beginning, and many of you watching this probably have even done plant immersions with us, either at QPW or back in the old QPH days. So, I just want to point out that even for us, this is a new adventure for myself and Bella, reading directly from the blueprint that is the Sacred Book of Nature. It's an entirely downloaded compendium, took quite a few hours over the Christmas period, hot on the heels of Nature's Gift. But whether you've done immersions with us before, or plant dietas, or retreats, or any of those things, or whether you're just completely new but love nature or want to reconnect to nature, this year-long journey of healing and education, and really the ascension process also into multidimensional consciousness, is available for anybody. It can be jumped onto at any time. However, the live version run through as we're doing it will be commencing on the 31st of January. So really hoping to see many of you plant lovers out there. It's going to be an absolutely amazingly magical journey. We're super excited and have already started filming some of the volumes and all of the different components from the plan that we received. So looking forward to sharing that with you all.
And the early bird goes until?
The early bird goes until the 25th of January, and then the normal price will kick in. So please do go over to the link in the show notes below and check that out. And if you've got this far in the video, please do hit like and subscribe always. And we say this every show, but we love to hear from you. Please tell us what's been going on for you in the blue hand, what you feel about nature, and whether, as I said on the video with the dear sister Francis from our tribe today, let's make 2026 the year of the plant. And if you say aho and put it in the comments, and put that intention that 2026 is the return to nature for all of us, because it really, I believe, is the future. So that's it from me.
So let's go into this topic, which I've been following very closely, the walk for peace with these beautiful monks that have been walking thousands of miles now from Texas. They're heading to Washington, D.C. They have already done Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, North and South Carolina. And all they want to say is make every day your peaceful day. Just write it down somewhere, or just have that intention every single day, because peace belongs to all of us. And it's beautiful to see the amount of energy that this beautiful walk for peace is gathering. Thousands of people are now joining them. Look at this bridge. It's going on to Columbia in Carolinas. I think it's North Carolina. And it's peoples of all colors, all religions, all walks of life. All they want to do is feel that there is hope, and that everyone can bring something, a contribution to making it happen. And it doesn't have to be something huge. It's just each of us thinking about, can today be my peaceful day, in spite of all of these difficulties that everybody's going through something at this point. So this is an amazing initiative, and I hope you get to follow it as well. And if you get to see them, do let us know, because I think it's amazing.
Right, we were watching a clip again just yesterday, and every time I watch them, particularly the guy here on the left, the leader of the walk, is their energy is the energy of warriors, of Jedis, yeah.
Right?
I mean, I've seen many monks in my life, but these guys have a certain steeliness to them that only a long walk like this probably would engender. But I'm in so much awe and respect of the way the brothers are carrying themselves on this really important mission.
And this is their main prayer. May you be well, happy, and peaceful.
Right,
So let's go to the year. We here follow the Mayan year, or the 13 moon year, and also the Solkin. We're still in the resonance year, starting on the 26th of July, and it goes until the 24th of July. And why did we start this calendar on this day? Why does it run for 13 moons during this period of time? It's because on the 26th of July, this is part of the research I've been doing, you get to see Sirius rise on the pyramids in Mexico. So they track the movement of Sirius, because Sirius, I believe, is one of these binary stars that are part of our, like they are in connection with our sun, like a binary system. Right. That's why most of the calendars in the Mayan and the Olmec, they're connected to Sirius B and to the count of 26. 13, 52, in the fractal as well, 13,000, 26,000, 52,000. and also with the movements of Venus. This is something I cover more in my courses, but just to remind of why did we start the year here is because of all of these alignments that we follow. And this is the year for the cosmic activation of us as cosmic seeds. And this is part of what is happening with the visit of 3i Atlas and many of these other comets that have come into our solar system to upgrade. This is part of the rainbow prophecy, part of everything that many different cultures have been waiting for. The past solstice, 21st of December of 2025, it was 13 years since 2012. And that marked the final stage of, okay, we're in it. The shift is already happening. It is here. And this is when we get to see the systems, the institutions, the countries, everything starts to change at a much faster pace. So this is part of what we need to get ready and be in alignment with nature, because it's the one that keeps us in alignment.
Right, and of course it is a resonant seed year, so it's a time to activate and attenuate the seeds in nature. It's perfect. It's super beautiful.
And what is even more amazing is that we're in the 7th moon as well. So it's a resonant year and a resonant moon. We're in double alignment at this moment.
Wow.
And what that means is that the sun is also going to help us during these 13 days to do the final alignment that we need to do. So it may be shaky for quite a few, but that's why I'd say that this is part of the process. When a big change needs to happen, things need to be moved around, and debris needs to be cleansed, and many of the things that we have experienced in the last few weeks, and many people in our tribe, that needs to be done so that we can start again.
And also we have that tradition, certainly in the Northern Hemisphere, of the traditional spring clean, and perhaps we'll be focusing on that in the next edition or so. So this is a moment where to clean out the debris, even to cleanse the body, all of that's super important as the energy of nature starts to return both outside and inside.
So these 13 galactic tones apply to a wave spell of 13 days or to 13 moons. You could even apply to 13 years. If you track what's happened for you every 13 years, you'll get to see all of these tones playing out in your life as well. And number 7 is the resonant tone, the tone of alignment. And alignment and attunement. And the totem for this moon is the beautiful monkey. This moon goes from January 10th to February the 6th. And with it, we want to ask ourselves this question over these 28 days or up to February the 6th. What can I do to stand in the light of my full mystical power? Meaning, how do I align myself with my true self? What do I need to do to align myself and my life and my inner self to the future of this new earth that we're about to experience? And the energy of the monkey is always telling us it has to be going back to your heart, to innocence, to healing your inner child, to being more playful, to bringing more magic into your life. That is the energy of the monkey, and it's what we need to remember about now when things are about to get a little bit more, how do we call it with that?
I think somebody said weird. It was a good word, but yeah.
Buckle up, buttercup, because this is it. This is when things start showing in the outside. So now let's go into the actual Solkin, which is this cycle of 260 days. And this is very important. The magnetic tone, the yellow magnetic sun, it's kin number 40. What does that mean? So you know that 40 days are always very important. When you think of a quarantine or a process of a vision quest, 40 is very important. So we are entering that process of having completed 40 days, and then we have 13 days on top of that to come to 52. We're going to wrap up the first castle of this Solkin. So there are a series of pointers that are telling us this is going to be very intense, but it's very important to wrap up this first castle. So there are 3 galactic activation portals. We have the first one on day 4, or kin 43. The second one is on day 11 on kin 50, and then kin 51 with tone number 12. So there is a lot of intensity, but there is also a lot of energy for us to work with. So what we're suggesting here is start connecting to the sun, start doing your practices of meditation, sun gazing, taking the teas with mugwort, with dandelion, all of these plants that will help us cleanse and be in full alignment. Which is the best plant for alignment?
So for alignment, for my money, mugwort is going to align you on every single level. Truly multidimensional, a master elementalist plant, and really keeps you in sixth dimensional heart coherence, Christic consciousness frequency. If you drink that tea every day, she will assist in that. And I think that's really important. We've talked about this before about the plants being incorruptible, but you've been sharing this word impeccable a lot. And mugwort, for me, is one of the teachers of becoming impeccable if you listen to her instructions.
Talking about alignment and attunement, we just went through that huge alignment on the 7th, 7th and 8th of January, where 5 celestial bodies aligned. We had Jupiter, the Sun, Venus, the Earth, and Mars, all in straight line. And on that day, I made that alignment essence together with mugwort. So there is a lot of attention to that. It's like the solar system has been reset, and now we enter this process.
I guess there's a really important meditational question you can ask yourself, especially if you work with a tea like mugwort, and you can ask her too. It's like, what is my resistance to me becoming fully aligned with my true self? And if I am resisting it, why? And please, can you show me where the resistance is? Because it's easy to not understand that your resistance is actually to something positive for you, and you're resisting it because you think it's going to hurt. And sometimes that maybe does happen briefly, and the Artemisas are very aware of that. And mugwort is the best plant at reducing any suffering to the minimum as long as you show up for the alignment process. Once the alignment process is done, by and large, it's done, especially if you have mugwort in your life regularly. And many plants can offer these kinds of disciplines, but especially mugwort, I think, is exceptionally good at this.
Right. So this is the first castle since we started this Solkin. Is the fourth wave spell in this castle of initiation. We have just started a huge process, which is in the new time, in the new earth, in the new frequency. So the sun is telling us, are you paying attention? Are you ready to realign? Because this is the mass awakening. And it's when lots of people are going to have to look at their stuff, things that they have never looked at or understood before. So there we go. A lot of scorchers.
Right.
So the sun wave spell has many qualities. One of them is to bring clarity. So you could start asking yourself the questions around issues, conflicts, situations that you've had for a long time, but you haven't had the clarity on why is this happening? Why does it keep on happening? Why am I stuck in this pattern? Why am I still repeating the same relationships or the same situations? I keep on falling on the same, what is the saying? I keep on falling with the same
banana skin.
Something like that. But this is the moment that you could ask for clarity and illumination and set an intention. Can I have that clarity? Can I have that enlightenment at this moment so that I can move forward with my evolution, with my quantum shift that is happening now? We can connect to the power of universal fire through this wave spell, with divine light, with cosmic consciousness, with the gold energy. If you have anything of gold, even if it's not real gold, but something that makes you think of gold, and because gold is directly connected to the energy of the sun. To the energy of sovereignty. And talking about gold has gone to the roof just as silver, but gold is going to become unobtainable, is going to have such a high value. People are thinking of even 7,000 or more per ounce. So that just shows that the energy of the sun and all of that is just racing. The energy of the sun is also talking to us about mastery, wisdom, knowledge, and bliss. Anything you want to add up to that?
No, no, it's all.
And so let's talk about what kind of shadow we could review over these 13 days. First of all, conditional love. Do you love people only if they do this or when they do that? Do you still have limiting beliefs that don't allow you to go into that space of sovereignty? Do you have too many expectations of others? And is that part of your frustration? Because you always have too many expectations on others. Um, the other shadow could be fogginess, like it is hard to be clear, or you have too much in your head and you can focus on one thing. And the other part of the shadow is hiding your light because of all of the conditionings or limiting beliefs or whatever it is. And so there are many ways to transform all of this, but more than anything, allow yourself to expand and become more of who you truly are, which is everything we've been saying from the beginning of the show. It's about embodying who you truly are, embodying unconditional love, and becoming that a child of the light and a sovereign being.
Right, and as Bella's just alluded to, really since we started this channel and everything that we've been working on, the gig, as far as we've seen it, and our mission here as the beings that you see on the screen, are really to do this work to understand that we are not the beings that any of us perceived ourselves to be or perceived anybody else to be. And really, this is the moment where that power of universal fire, of the illumination of the sun, can come and really, not scorch you, hopefully, but blast away any of those last shadowy obscurations or fogginesses or contaminations or limiting self-belief systems or even things that have been blindsided. You can't see them. The sun is going to come and illuminate them both within yourself and probably in our entire global community, all of us, all humans. This is an essential part of the process. And if people don't want to look at the things that they have as shadows, then they should be questioning that. We all understand how
Mm.
difficult it is, right? It's not easy to do these things, but if we're truly committed to being the cosmic humans that we came here to be, then we have to understand that at various points there are tough initiations, often ignited by beings like the sun, where we
Mhm.
have to transmute that energy. And this is an excellent opportunity to take really and say, if there's anything that no longer serving me, please allow it to be transformed.
Yeah. So pretty much about that, illumination, clarity, seeing what we haven't seen before. And you can see the poles are here. So the four yellow tones here are the sun, the seed, the star, and the human. So very big energies that are now saying, let's go. We're ready to do this work. And we have worked with many of those ourselves as well. We did an amazing Stargate wave spell.
Yes, in fact, we've worked out now that we've, I think, worked with 17 out of the 20 glyphs
Yeah.
in immersion spaces and containers with many of you beautiful brothers and sisters out there as well.
Mhm. And this kin number 40, or the yellow magnetic sun, it's on the sarcophagus on the lid of Pacalvo 10. And all of this is relevant because the prophecy, we did a whole run following these glyphs in the last Solkin.
Right.
And now we can go to the higher octave saying, okay, we did a first run and now more people are aware of this energy. With this energy of the yellow magnetic sun, we're talking about fertility, which is what the sun brings to all of us, the connection to corn, to the plants. It's also connected to the divine power of royalty, but royalty meaning the connection to the sun of all human beings. We're all royalty, basically, because we are beings that belong to the earth. There are no monarchies and no other things. That's part also of the conversation in the special edition. So I just wanted to show here the yellow magnetic sun is kin number 40. You can see it here on the lid of Pacalvo 10. And there are many other things that are connected to the sun through different ancient cultures. This is part of the special talk. I'm not going to expand on this, but we're going to be talking about consciousness, the sacred masculine, the DNA activation, and how the sun is so active right now. How we've been in solar maximum for I don't know how long.
Seems like forever, to be honest.
Stefan is running out of adjectives to describe how much activity the sun has. So we're just in the whole process.
Right.
And with the sun, obviously, we're talking about solar consciousness, which is spiritual enlightenment. And the solar symbology as the source of light, life, warmth, energy, nature and the plants wouldn't be able to thrive. We wouldn't thrive without the energy of the sun. So that's why every single culture before us has always worshipped the sun. Ancient civilizations always had a being that was representing the energy of the sun. So they embodied the energy of the sun, whether it was the Incas, the Mayans, the Sumerians, the Aztecs, the Egyptians, they all had one of those beings that was embodying the energy of the sun. For the Mayans, it was Kinichahau, which is the energy that during the day would be embodying the energy of the sun, and then in the evening it would transform into a jaguar. So that's why it was believed that the sun became a jaguar during the night, and that's why they were both so important in the cosmology and in their mythology. So just to wrap up about the wave spell, continue to follow these 13 questions. Make sure you have an objective, a goal, a purpose for those 13 days. See what part of your life needs clarity and illumination at this moment. It could be that we all need just illumination as a whole to go through this process that is going to get a little bit stronger for the next few weeks. This is the affirmation for the first day. It's something that you can do on the first day, and that energy goes through 13 days. And all you have to do is read it out or write it down somewhere. I unify in order to enlighten, attracting life. I seal the matrix of universal fire with the magnetic tone of purpose. I am guided by my own power doubled, meaning there is double the amount of sun energy on that day and on the whole wave spell.
And adding to what Bella's just said, you can use this at any time for any wave spell. At the beginning, if you understand the energy of the 13 days through the glyph, like Bella's just put with that a reading there of the sun, then you can start to read all of the following daily glyphs in that 13-day wave spell as their own reading in and of themselves, but through the context of the 13-day journey that you're taking with the sun. It's also a great opportunity to remind people that we did a workshop on how to work with all of these different layers and coordinates in our special workshop, The Alchemy of the Sacred 13.
Oh, yeah.
Which can actually be used in conjunction with the quantum compass and all of the coordinate points that we give you to help create your own 13-day immersions or journeys working with the magical Sacred 13.
So that's it for the 13 moons and the 1320 calendar, the sacred round. Now we'll go into the astrology, and as many of you know, we switched to 13 sign astrology, which is the true sky. When you go out at night and you see Mars, whatever it is in that constellation. You could see it on a stellarium, and that is part of what the Western astrology or tropical astrology, it's of what do you call it? It is for the last 2,000 years. They've been following a system that is offset for 2,000 years. And that's what we need to realign. The astrology needs to be realigned. Time needs to be realigned. We need to realign with nature so that there aren't other powers controlling the way we think or the way we do things or the reality that we create.
Yeah, well, just going to say essentially the differences between universal time and restricted mechanized time, I would say.
People think of universal time as something.
Well, yeah, not UTC. I'm thinking of cosmic time. Let's just say that the time sequence of the universe is an illusion. Cosmic time, that's the time that I work with, cosmic time, which is pretty much all time. But yeah, the shift from that more mechanized, controlled timescale, I think, into this 1320 system is part of what's coming.
So this is a stellarium, and on day one of this wave spell, this is where, look at the stellium. We have a new moon, we have the sun, Mars, Mercury, the moon, and Venus, all in that section. It's still in the area of Sagittarius, about to enter Capricorn. They haven't quite entered. They actually enter Capricorn, which starts on the 20th of January. But before then, they are still in Sagittarius, wrapping up this process that we've been having of mastery, of higher mind, of vision. What is our vision for the future? And moving towards that process. Let's remember also that 3i Atlas will get closer to Jupiter in March. And so that is another stepping stone where we need to be paying attention. What needs to happen before that moment? Because I think by that point, the whole of the Earth should have gone through the most important part of the process, and even the solar system.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Right. So this is a new moon. You can set not only a purpose for the 13 days of the wave spell, but a new moon intention as
Right.
well.
So a double day of intentions with
Yeah.
the sun and with the moon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And so then we'll be entering Capricorn from the 20th of January through February the 13th. And when we talk about Capricorn, we're talking about the energy of being more practical, responsible, loyal, reliable, and with that ambition to achieve, to succeed. There are also shadows around the energy of Capricorn to be aware of, which are still part of the old system, the controlling, being inflexible, demanding, impatient, unsympathetic, intransigent. All of these energies of the old world that we now need to review as we realign ourselves. Because the aspiration for power and achieving are okay if it's our inner power, if it's our sovereignty. It's not about the power over others that we need to pay attention to. So all of this energy that we've been reviewing, every single sign, and reviewing the astrology, the new astrology is part of our mission to realign all of these. Because it's not enough to repeat the same archetypes and to just be stuck in the 12th wheel. We need an exit point, and that's what the 13 sign astrology offers.
Yeah, I'm just reading these points here and considering some of the things that we've been looking at recently and going through. I love this one, the untiring quest to achieve practical sustainability.
Right.
To me, it feels very much like the return to nature, back to basics, back to the plants, Taurus, ground up, in co-creation with the goddess, with Venus, working with the soil in our hands.
Right. So this is part of what I want to bring more. Like, what are the higher notes of all of those signs? Like being more down to earth and being more in connection with the earth. The structure and the grid and the foundation are essential, but it should be together with the earth. If we're disconnected, then whatever we build is not going to have a strong foundation.
Well, and one of the things that me and Bella have spent some enjoyable time looking at in the past is sustainable structures and how to build eco structures that both harmonize with nature but also work in a sympathetic way and are actually in harmony with nature. And I think that that's a topic that's going to become, I think, increasingly more present in our society in general, Bella, moving forwards,
Moving
right?
forwards,
Yeah.
yes. So here I wanted to show in a stellarium how the sun has already entered Capricorn. You can see it's already within the area of Capricorn. Venus is definitely already there. This red dot here is actually Pluto, because there's going to be a Pluto Cassimi.
That's right.
And this is the day of the Mercury Cassimi, which you're going to talk about. So that's day 4, January the
Which is a
21st.
galactic activation portal
And
day.
it's a galactic. And this is the day of the Pluto Cassimi on day 6 or January 23rd. Pluto is here. That's the day of the Cassimi. But from this perspective, it looks like that. They're really close.
Okay, so this is the astrology of the yellow sun wave spell. As Bella's already alluded to, it's really all about the sun, to be honest. The sun literally
It's the star.
is the star, it literally is the star. We can't escape it, it's always in the sky. We can't always see it, but it's always there apparently. But as Bella also sort of humorously pointed out, there aren't just 3 Cazimis in this wave spell. There are 4 because the new moon is a Cazimi of the moon every month. So we kick off with that Cazimi, but the new moon in Sagittarius, put the timing UTC, which is about 10 to 8 universal time. And that is the day also that Mercury in Sagittarius conjuncts Mars and at the same time sextiles Saturn in Pisces. So let's have a look at that. This is that, yeah, here we go. This is for the new moon.
The sun at 31 degrees of Sagittarius.
And then also Mercury.
Here,
Yeah,
29 degrees of Sag.
exactly. So we've also got that going on there. And How do you feel about Mercury communicating with Mars on a new moon? It tends to suggest to me that it's quite a forceful message that could come
I
through.
think it's what we've been seeing, the bullying of different countries.
Right.
I'm going to attack you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to come there. I'm going to keep on doing this. The same old energy of the past, which we need to shift now. Everything that we're seeing between all of these different countries and threatening each other is part of what needs to be now transcended. It needs to be elevated because let's remember that Mars was already touched by Three-Eye Atlas. And what Zach confirmed is that once Three-Eye Atlas goes through each one of the planets, the transformation starts. It may not happen immediately, but it will be seen within a certain period of time.
Right. And so as we go through these slides here to round out this episode of Quantum Compass, what should become fairly apparent to all of you, as it did to us, is that this is all about the Sun, Mars, and Pluto, a few other characters as well. But if you think about those three characters in and of themselves having a few powwows and get-togethers and various other things, you should begin to understand that this is quite an intense transformational moment, I would say, is the positive way of looking at all of these energies and trying to probably within ourselves keep them grounded and centered.
And here is the importance of those monks doing the work of peace. If more people, many of us need to be doing something similar to put the intention every day on peace, to show and to put into the grid that more of us want peace and a better world than those few that want the opposite, which is just gains and resources and more war and selling weapons, whatever they want.
Yeah, hopefully at this point, and I'm sure many of you, if not all of you in our audience, would agree with this, but I'm personally hoping at this point, with everything that has already been disclosed for anyone who is caring to look, it should become obvious that we've had enough of the old way of manipulation and of red flags and false flags and God knows how many flags. We just want to live a peaceful life where we're allowed to be our true selves without feeling put upon, manipulated, coerced, intimidated, repressed, oppressed, or any of those other words that we've used in the past, because it's over. I think it's time to begin something again. And all of the energy to me is with this new moon. It's a time of pioneers. It's a time to break new ground, a time to be bold and courageous and to step onto a new territory that you've never been to before, because that is truly where we're at. We're new earth pioneers on a new land, and we're learning about how it all works. And it is a strange new world that we're in right now. And of course, as the old world clamors for our attention and shakes its rattles and hoisters its pistols and everything else, it wants us to go down with it because it's scared, I think, in many ways. The energies that are now leaving us realize that they're on their way out. And unless they've already chosen to flip or redeem themselves, then it's a kind of a one-way street. But if you're on the new Earth trajectory, well, then I think this next 2 weeks is going to really help us all understand that we are really there already. So on day 2, Mars is in a better aspect here, trining with Uranus and Taurus, which to me suggests action in the world of innovation, particularly in relation to the Earth, into maybe solutions to help clean up the Earth. Could read the energy that way, especially with Venus conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn, could also speak of the same thing. How are we going to use all of our wisdom that we've learned, all of our mastery, but put it to good effect with Venus?
I also think of, because I always see Taurus and the opposite axis as the financial axis as well. There could be surprises in terms of, unexpected, like it could be silver, it could be gold, it could be crypto, it could be a new system, financial system, many things that are brewing in the background.
Right, and a lot of this astrology, I feel, Bella, as we look at the rest of it in a minute as well, is about new beginnings, new starts, resets. Maybe a new financial system is going to appear. I'm pretty sure that it's already in place.
Yep.
Certainly, we've been feeling something different in our body medicine that tells us something has got activated planetarily. Any of you who've also had the same sensations, please either do put comments or let us know. Please also remember to hit like and subscribe. Again, in case you got this far, you will get a golden sun emoticon. How about that?
The other thing is that with all of these geopolitical moves, a reevaluation of currencies is very much on the cards, where many different countries start working or collaborating together or even create different confederations or something, different states, something like that. But also the revaluation where paper money is not going to be the thing anymore. We're moving into gold-backed assets, gold-backed currencies, silver-backed currencies, and things like that.
Right, exactly. Maybe that's some of the messages that Mercury is picking up here as he heads into that combustion moment on day 4, which is all about creating form and structure. When we're cross-reading the astrology with the Mayan wave spell, then that to me seems very significant. Mercury is going to bring a message somehow from its combustion moment, its own rebirth with the sun, as we're creating our form in the wave spell of the sun. It's too precise to be a coincidence. And as much as there are these powerful days of conjunctions, and generally when me and Bella are looking at astrology, we tend to pay the most attention to the Cazimis and the conjunctions. But we can also see there are a lot of harmonious aspects going on in the background, which I just want to bring into the mixture so that we don't feel that it's all going to be Scorpio. But Saturn sextiles Uranus, and then also Mercury in Capricorn, Capricorn sextiles Saturn, and Neptune in Pisces. So these are the smaller aspects, perhaps in comparison to a harmonious trine, but they suggest to me, Bella, a sort of a smoothing of the way at the micro level. Do you have any thoughts on
New message. I
the
think
new
it's about the
message?
new message saying, okay, we're going to have new structures. We're going to include spirituality. The earth has to be part of the planning. It's like Mercury spreading the message as the sun does all of those Casim.
Right, so I see it now. So Mercury gets the message from the sun. Yeah, Mercury then conjuncts Pluto. It's like, hey, look out, buddy, the sun's right behind me. It's game over time. It's time to give up the ghost.
Enough of Hades.
Enough of Hades and the underworld. We know that you had a damn good time down there, but it's game over. There is no underworld anymore, buddy. So it's time to get yourself down the job center, right, and have a look and see what other positions are vacant for you. Yeah, well, not to me personally, but I'm sure many people. So Mercury then conjuncts Pluto, and the following day, Pluto gets the full whammy from the sun. And Mercury's like, I told you so. I hope you were ready. Because I think that Mercury is coming to inform Pluto that the new change, the new way of being is here. And because Pluto is Hades, or was Hades, at the extremity of everything that we can see, the sun is going to illuminate everything I think that we need to see so that we can.
It has to be power back to everyone, to the people, to where everybody thrives again, not power for just a few elites. We need to flip that pyramid where it's everybody that benefits from everything. Everybody's taken care of.
Right, so maybe those of you watching the show, we've done this before, and I think it's really powerful if we have the intention that we no longer wish to be in this reality that was directed largely by the denizens of the underworld, then perhaps we can call on Mercury, Pluto, and the Sun to say enough is enough. We want to see everything that has happened so that we no longer can fall prey to the same mistakes of our ancestors who also got tricked and manipulated. That time is over.
So when I see Mars conjunct Pluto and Capricorn there, it's conjunct on day 10?
Yeah, so I've got a slide for that. We'll come to it in a second. So yeah, so we're just coming to that. So the Pluto Cazimi is on day 6, which is the day of balance, of course, in the wave spell. And that's happening at around about 10:30 UTC, so fairly early for us folks here on this side of the pond. But Capricorn and Mars then also, the Pluto Cazimi is in Capricorn, and Mars sextiles Neptune in Pisces. So for all of these intense combustions, there is an offset with a sextile or a trine, also often with the same planets, which is, I think, I would understand that in terms of Zach talking about light inflammation, where these combustions could cause that really strong light inflammation. It's being eased out at the sides. It's like we don't want to jangle too many nerves, hence why St. John's Water nerving would be a really good plan. But as we move beyond that to day 10, a day of manifestation, Mars conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn.
Yeah.
We'll get your thoughts and feedback on that one in a second, Bella, on the slide. And then we sort of pretty much round out on day 12, which is, of course, a galactic activation portal day as well. Mercury conjuncting Venus in Capricorn. So I know Venus is an energy that you know and understand well. Bella, will you have any thoughts on what Mercury could be bringing forth at that moment?
Well, what I'm seeing is that there is a new conversation going on. The Mars conjunct Pluto in Capricorn is absolutely Mars already transformed as the new masculine who becomes a protector, a warrior, warrior, a guardian of the solar system, talking to Pluto, saying, "Hey, buddy, the Hades thing is not going to work
It's not
anymore.
going to fly anymore, dude. The underworld's gone. Those days are over, my friend. We got to get down the job center, like
Yeah.
otherwise we might have some people after us.
Exactly. And the Mercury conjunct in Venus, Venus has already been transformed by three-eye Atlas, which is also the feminine returning. So she's probably working with Mercury saying, bring the message everywhere. I'm here, I'm back. The energy of Venus is here to stay. The energy of Virgo, the great mother, the energy of nature is here to stay, I think is what's happening.
Right, and interestingly, of course, Ceres' daughter Persephone was the runaway bride of Hades, and I'm just looking here on the chart, and it looks as though Ceres is in a long trine across to the south node. I think that's the right angle. So
This one. Oh,
yeah, so I'm
the North
wondering
Node. She's in aspect with the North Node.
south node, I think.
Oh, South Node.
Yeah, so maybe that's suggesting a return to the old ways, not necessarily archaic, ox and plow kind of stuff, but maybe a sort of upgraded or elevated type of ecosystem care, of environmental guardianship.
Spiritual, because
More
it's in
spiritual,
Pisces.
right? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that most of you in our audience watching this have the same heartfelt intention that we do, which is really just to be spiritual guardians of the earth and to be in that place of balance and harmony, because there's so much still to learn from nature. And rather than just trying to grab it and put a copyright or a patent on it and say, that's mine, I can make lots of money out of that now. Heaven forbid that humanity wakes up and realizes that the garden outside of your house is your local pharmacy and it's free, and you can go there and get a consultation and it doesn't cost anything, and then you can actually feel good shortly afterwards. All of which is not anything that those big corporations and structures that are falling really want anyone to know about, because there's no money in that way of doing things, right? So let's move on to the Cazimi. Pluto combusts before meeting Mars. There was a double Cazimi wave spell with Mercury in the mix. So we've already had a bit of a look at this, but actually there's three Cazimis. One of them was a little hidden, but we'll come to that in a second. So I'm just putting here the key dates of those Cazimis and the conjunctions with everything else. So how do you feel the flow, Bella? We've talked about this quite a bit already, but it seems to me that
It seems like Mercury starts the process of the message. You know, the sun says, okay, we're ready. We've just realigned. The solar system's been upgraded. Let's bring the message. And so Mercury starts moving around. Mercury Cassimi, then Mercury conjuncts Pluto. Then Pluto goes into Cassimi, gets the big message from the sun. Then Mars conjuncts Pluto. It's like everybody's getting the upgrade energy, the upgrade codes, the new plan, the blueprints for the solar system. Let's remember that is the whole solar system, the whole galaxy that is being upgraded at this moment. We've entered the we have exited the galactic night and have entered the galactic day. We're just in the first few degrees of the process, receiving the energy from the center of the galaxy.
And so if we look at this chart here on the left, which is for the Pluto Cazimi, and of course this is obvious, but sometimes it only becomes more clear when you look at the chart, we're really in a trigger conjunction running through Sun, Pluto, Mercury, Vesta, and Venus. There's only 4 degrees separating all of those. They're all basically sat on top of each other, hence why we have so many Cazimis in a row. And of course, Mars and Pluto being the rulers of Scorpio in the Western tropical system tends to speak of a big pivotal turning point. I think whenever Mars and Pluto come together, you've got that sort of drive of action with transformation in its highest possible notes. But we'll have a look at that now because Mars meets Pluto. Here I've included the chart from the Western tropical system for those that still prefer to use that, but also so we can see some other interesting things coming into our awareness due to this software's ability to add on extra asteroids, which I'll come to in a second. But just really highlighting a day of alchemy of the self. This is what I'm calling it, Bella, a rebirth moment, a fusion of action and transformation on the day of the red planetary moon.
Wouldn't it be good that like the sacred masculine gets infused with this new energy of being the protector, the guardian?
Right, I think that's what it's all about, and because it's falling on the planetary moon day, it's sometimes people call the red planet the red moon also. So it feels to me like we're being forced to confront the Most challenging aspects of the yang expression, let's call it that, the masculine yang expression, which can often be action leading to decisive action, which often in our world has meant war, all of which I think we the people have really had enough of, if we were ever in favor of it in the first place, a long, long time ago. And of course, Pluto and the denizens of the underworld as well, all of that plotting and hiding of secrets and nefarious plans goes on. So we can understand why Mars and Pluto as an alliance have been probably good buddies for a long time, but haven't kept that super public. All of which is somewhat symbolic of what we're experiencing at the big picture level.
I think here's where a lot of the disclosure, I don't know how much they're going to disclose, but many of us that have gone those rabbit holes know about secret programs from different governments, different things that they've been doing, even secret space programs, secret military programs, secret everything. So all of these ghosts and secret things need to be now exposed. And we need to move into a space where there is clarity, illumination from the sun, and we get to see and we all decide what needs to happen for the highest good of all.
Right, true that. So I feel, with everything we've already said, that this is a really, really powerful moment in this ways, but it's not quite the final moment, but it feels to me like the culmination moment. It is on the planetary day. It's then followed by two galactic activation portals as
Yeah.
well.
And it's not about bringing fear or
No.
worry. We have gone through the convergence. We have stepped into we are anchoring the new highest golden timeline. But it's about many people paying attention, being sovereign, doing their inner work, and knowing that we have a voice and we have, more than anything, our consciousness contributes to the grid. The grid is full of how many people are paying attention and bringing the decisions and the highest solutions for everyone.
Right, exactly. And we can just see here on this chart, it's a little smaller on this one, we have Mars conjuncting Pluto, then the Sun, then Vesta, which I'm going to allude to in a second. And then also, interestingly, is Atlantis. So we'll just talk about that in a second. Then we can see Mercury and Venus. It's kind of racked and stacked here in Aquarius in the Western system, but obviously in the one that we're looking at, it's Sagittarius. So let's just bounce on a bit because it's all part of the mix. And here is the third Cazimi of the, well, fourth if we include the moon, which is Vesta. So again, I've just included it here with the Western astrologers for those following that. But as well as the Mercury and Pluto Cazimis, there is a Vesta Cazimi on the 28th of January. Vesta, the keeper of the sacred flame, of course, represents the inner spark and reminds us of the need for deep focus, discipline, and devotion to the path or project or cause that we have chosen, which I would suggest is to remember our true selves and be a good person whilst doing that.
The Vesta reminds me of Mugwort as well.
Yes, very much of the high priestess of the dragon queen Magdalene, of Mugwort. Mugwort, I think really we could say that Mugwort is an embodiment of Vesta, or vice versa. The energies, for those of you that know Mugwort, please feel free to comment. The energy of Mugwort is very, very present at the moment, as indeed is the energy of Magdalene of the sacred flame. The Artemisias.
Good.
Vesta, of course, signifies where we find our inner purpose. So another hint at rebirth moment. What is my true purpose for being here? Let me bring it out from within. If it's hiding within me, let me see it for myself. And of course, Vesta is also very much linked with the hearth and home. There are many other energies to Vesta. I actually like the energy of the asteroid Vesta and feel quite an affinity with it. But what about you, Bella? Do you have an opinion on what this could be about?
I think it's about that, about reconnecting with a practice, with our spirituality, with something that keeps us every day thinking about being peaceful, getting ourselves organized, and taking care of the land as well.
Right, beautiful. All of which is very much in keeping with the theme of the plants and everything else. So that is it for this particular presentation. We didn't get to it on this, but the beginning of the next wave spell, just to round out this series of Cazimis, there is an Atlantis Cazimi. It just ducked out of this one, but it will be present for the wave spell of the red magnetic Skywalker, which I think
is the beginning of the next cast.
Which is all about, if there's one glyph that's about time traveling back to places like Atlantis, it's the wave spell of the Skywalker. So I think that we're now moving into very interesting territory. Many people have been moved to say that they think this next 2 to 3 weeks could be very strange. I'm inclined to agree, but I think it's going to be strange in a way that is necessary. And as long as you stay to your center, definitely work with Mugwort over this period, definitely work with those solar plants. And I would definitely suggest doing something we always say, Bella, which is spend a bit of time under a beautiful oak tree or a tree, maybe even like the birch. Please do check out that episode. Also out on YouTube, we're in the moon of the birch tree, which is all about pioneering energies. And I know you love this, is all about the silver queen lady of the woods. The birch tree is really nature's embodiment in many ways of the energy of silver, who we've already alluded to as being the benchmark of the return of the goddess.
Good.
All right.
So please comment, let us know what you think about this wave spell coming up. What are your intentions? I think it requires many of us. I went to see the movie Avatar. I'm not advertising it, but I love the part where everybody joins with nature and the spirit of the Great Mother, because it's the only thing that will keep them alive and going. And it's only when people reconnect to nature that they realize we're all part of one of the same, and whatever we do to nature or to the others, we're doing to ourselves. So I think that is the big message for now. The sooner that we all realize that what we do to others, we do to ourselves, what we do to nature, we do to ourselves as well.
Exactly, aho to all of that. I think this is the moment really where that realization needs to come fully and quickly to everybody, because not only is it a beautiful way into the new world, but it's also going to help us feel a lot better. I think about all of the turgid rubbish that we've been served up for quite a long time now. So, Bella, when can people perhaps look out for your solar edition special on the Quantum Compass? Next 24 hours, maybe, or
Let's say 48
next
hours.
48 hours? It's in progress, right?
Yes, the sun really wants to send a message. It wants us all to reconnect to the sun and realign.
Right, so busy times here at QPW. 2026 looks like it's going to be a big one. It is a return to nature. The timelines have been repaired. Thank goodness that work has been done by many different people, and we're now getting ready to experience in Lakesh. I am another you with nature. All righty, thank you everybody. Bye for now.